Good morning, everyone. Again, we have this topic today: why are children confused? We see that happening all the time, and we are confused as well. And I'll just give you an example. We were traveling yesterday to attend an event. I was the person on the driver's seat. I had with me three other people. Interesting. We are going to a new town, and one of them, I mean, he's an elderly uncle, 80 plus years old. He knows the city in and out, he knows the location, and he doesn't know the exact location. It was a housewarming event. And none of us are carrying the invitation card with us. And there's my mother with me who is happy, just take me, I trust you. And even if I'm driving in the opposite direction, she doesn't care less because we're all together. She's happy. And there's another cousin who does not know the city, who does not have the direction of the roads. But as we are nearing the town, jumping at every exit. These days cities are built, especially if it's on the highway, there is something called bypass road. We don't have to go into the city. And on that bypass road, you will have several exits to go into the city. So there are like 11, 12 exits since I was on the bypass, calling out for every exit. Okay, take it now, take it now. And I don't know the city very well, I don't know the location also. And a trusted person has sent me the location. So I trust my GPS. And the uncle behind me is calling out, take this exit. And I'm like, no, I have put the GPS on. It is still 10 kilometers away. It is still 9 kilometers. I'm very confident. And he keeps like, you're going almost out of the town now. I said, yeah, it's like 200 meters away. I'll make a left and we'll be right there. And lo behold, I come to that left turn. There is a road, not motorable. It's like a developing area. There are houses being built, and I probably could go through that terrain, but definitely not comfortable, and maybe go through lots of potholes. So imagine this scenario and try to map it to what children go through. This GPS is like textbooks, ready reckoners, information that's readily available with no context. GPS saw a way to that house and it gave me very confidently. And if I go there and if I start driving a little ahead, it will reroute the map. And if I go much ahead, it will give me another. So it will keep changing with an objective to get me to the location. Textbooks are like that. Get me to my objective, that is the exam. And now in the process, we talked yesterday about allowing children to question, so they don't forget things. Now when they're questioning, there are going to be these detours. Now who is going to guide them when they're stuck? The textbooks probably do not have, unlike GPS, lots of alternatives. They have one way, a set way. And no wonder children will be confused if it does not align with some practices in their own home. We had a discussion one time in a social studies class. Should girls be allowed to work? This was 7, 8, 9 years ago. And then women were already working and whatnot. In his family, he had never seen his grandparents, his mother, his sisters. any of the women in his family were allowed to work. So for the boy, it was no. But the textbook said women empowerment. The child is confused. Now, can he debate that with somebody to clear confusion? Many a times not. If he debates that at home, his probably mother will also shut him up saying, this is our family culture, this is how it is. Comes to school, so teachers are going to tell another perspective. Do you see the child being confused in this whole process? And then my cousin, who was with me, calling out for every exit to be taken because we may be missing out. Those are like all these advertisements the children are exposed to, parents are exposed to. There's this new tutorial that has come up. Somebody is offering a month off. There's a new Ready Reckoner that's coming up. There's a new sports academy. Child is not able to do his academics very well. So somebody says, put him into some organized sports. That will help him study better. So all the distractions that are available, trying to jump at everyone that comes my way. And we see many parents, we're confused, we don't know, we want to do the best for the child. So we put them in one class, child doesn't do well, then we withdraw and put him in another something. So the child is going through this roller coaster ride, not knowing where he'll be in the next moment. So that kind of gives you these distractions that come in. Exit here. Right? And children are ready to exit and never come back. There's a peer pressure. My friends are going to this school. I mean, we see this in schools. If one child withdraws from a school, his whole gang will withdraw from the school because my friend is going to another school. And that's there, the comparison, the trends, the opinions, you name it, we have it. And then there is this fear-based advice. If I don't go to that tutorial, I may not be able to score well. Same thing goes with parents. So somewhere I need to bring this processing that is going through an adult's mind a little loudly. Let's discuss it. And let's hear it from others, not just panic. So I was driving, right? I'm very clear that I will go with my GPS, and I know my GPS will give me alternative if at all I'm lost. At the most, I'll be late at the venue, 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late, not a very big town. So it's never like I'm going to miss anything major. So I'm just driving. And I even told my mother, I wish everybody was like you in the car, who will not interfere, who will just trust and who will sit, and I'll figure my way out. So though the child, if you can imagine the child in my situation, they're confused by the textbooks, they're confused by these signposts that are attracting me, or my parents are pushing me into, if I can just trust one way, if one trusting adult is there, then they can sit back and say, hey, you know what, can I try this out? And if it doesn't work, will you be there with me to help me get out of the mess that I may get into? Somewhere as parents, as teachers, we're also kind of in a competition. Right? So there is definitely this confusion that kind of stays with us for a long time. One of the teachers in a school, a child left to go to a better school, and the principal could not handle losing because they were struggling with admissions, and she challenged the child. I'll see how you'll perform going to that school. And it was a casual comment for the principal. I don't think she even recollects that now. But the child went out to that new school with lots of pressure, confused how to perform better. right? So we are adding these little confusions on the child on daily basis through these comparisons and opinions of our own, right? And there's other uncle who was sitting with me. He knew the city very well, not the new city, but the old city. He had traveled and he knew every small town that came. And he was telling me, he did tell me to take the exit, but I was adamant I had to follow the GPS. And then when we hit at this roadblock, he said, "Don't worry, just go a little ahead. We'll be on the other end of the town. Then you come back and we'll be right there." And GPS also told me the same thing. So, and his is the old way. I mean, so we'll go near the location and we'll ask around. Somebody will know and they will tell, or we can call the venue saying we are at this particular location. How do we come from here? And he was very stable, very settled, not rushing, kind of giving that ground footing. That's like a concept, solid concept, giving me options to exit, options to stay on, options to explore, and not comparing and pushing me. So or me in that situation as a child, I would feel very comfortable to take risks. Now child is feeling one way and the voices around are telling the child another way. That's where the confusion begins. Somewhere I begin mistaking the textbooks or like my GPS as wisdom, as it knows everything. I mean, that's why our government is also trying to redo the textbooks, because there is misinformation. And children are trusting that. And now when we are changing, obviously there's confusion. The speed to learn, we are mistaking that for learning. Do it quick. Do it easy. The reason why I wanted to follow the GPS is I did not want to go through the town. So I wanted to take the bypass road. Easier, faster. And maybe reaching the destination earlier too, provided it led me well. Right? Somewhere this information I'm taking in, that textbooks are offering me, people are offering me as an understanding. When the other cousin was saying, exit this, I'm like, out of pressure sometimes I would have exited. But yesterday, for whatever reason, I'm like, I'll just stick to the GPS. Right? So this noise that's coming, I take it as guidance. My friends go to another school, I think we would have, they know better, they would have done some research. So I just follow them. Somewhere there is no replacement for my own work. The uncle who was with me, he has struggled. He had no GPS then. He probably did not even have phones when he was exploring that area. He walked on foot and he talked to people over there. He knows the area. I mean, there is no substitute for that knowledge. And you see how GPSs are misleading us. The store could be right behind me, but the street is one way, so it's going to take me 2 kilometers ahead, make a U-turn, come back 2 kilometers, and bring me to the same spot I was at, maybe 10 meters behind. Taking me actually longer, because somewhere there is no orientation. I'm confused. If I had that orientation, then it's the same street, it's the same thing, so maybe I'll just park here and walk back to see if that's the location. That comes only when I have put efforts. It's not the ready answers. Ready answers, I do not invest any energy, any effort. Comes easy, goes easy. I'm not saying just because it's coming easy, I should abandon it. No. I mean, GPS has its role, textbooks have its value. But then I also need to plan it, prepare for it. I must have, like in this context now, I must have had the invitation with me. I just trusted the GPS. I didn't care about the name of the township, name of the building. I just knew whose housewarming I'm going to, and I just have this blind trust that the person who sent me the GPS was at the location. So I'll be guided there, right? That was fault number one, not carrying enough information with me. That is a little bit of effort. Just carry that invitation with me. Second is trust that you know uh, the person who had sent me the location is available on the phone. Anywhere I am stuck, I shall just call him and he will guide me. That was the trust, that was faith, and that is fact as well. And understanding how far am I driving, and even scrutinizing the map. When you do the GPS, it will also give you alternate routes. Maybe take the alternate route. Maybe when the uncle said take this exit, stop there and check if that will lead me to the location. Like those are a little bit of effort. GPS textbooks will help me, but then put that little effort to stop, cross check. Stopping somehow for us feels that I'm wasting time. And later I would panic, that's okay. But situations happen, we are confused. But as a human being, we can also learn from it. Rather than go for ready answers, go for ready answers. But also look at the context and question it. Is it the only way? And I typically see, like, my parents and their generations, and even many of them in my generation do that. They know exactly where they're going, how they're going, and they put that effort. But the generation after me, the younger generation in their 20s, 30s, they just trust blindly. And they're driving with GPS, but no idea whether it's going north, south, east, or west, if there's anything on the way. I mean, GPSs have also improved now, but in general, trusting the text alone is not going to work. Trusting the noises that are calling out you to exit and enroll in this or that is not going to work alone. It has to be integrated with that concept, right? So keep asking. If the child is taught to ask, who should I listen to? Listen to all, but also see what it is telling you. What is that driving you to be steady? Are you steady? Do you have one trusted person around you? Can you fall back on that one person who will not label you, judge you, compare you with somebody? Are you allowed to explore certain distance without interruption? I mean, just look at it. This is something I tell parents when I talk to them. If a child fails, that's my fear. That's why I'm trying to give inputs. And the child cannot tell you that they're confused. In my case, I wasn't very confused because I was like very fixed on GPS. But generally, I would have been I would have yelled. I would have been angry because I'm driving, I have to focus, and can one of you speak? And then if I could trust that one person, whether right or wrong, without labeling, judging them, give them the responsibility to navigate, I would have been happy. Right? But in the children, they don't even know how to say I'm confused. They can't even yell back at elders and parents or teachers. So confusion arises from not knowing the way. It's not about that. It is being pulled in different directions. Children know that they have to study, that pressure, whatnot. But then 20 different people telling or expecting is what's going to confuse the child out. Now, can we allow the child to stop, like I did at that muddy road? Can I allow child to pause, listen, adjust, ask around, not blindly obeying the GPS or the textbook, not reacting to every exit sign that comes, but choosing with patience? Can I, as a parent or a teacher, be patient with that? There are roads, there are many roads. And sometimes destination may also be not very important to reach. Now, yesterday, if I had completely lost and if I did not reach the destination, I would lose nothing. Right? So, if children are confused today, it is not because life is complex. Because life has always been complex. Right? It's because we have replaced that lived guidance with instructions. And the trust that the child must have on me as an adult with control. The instructions and control are creating that noise for the child. And is that what I want? I mean, I need to honor the developmental timing of the child. Children are growing in stages. There is that inner journey that needs to unfold through confusions, through doubts, through failures. But then allow them to pause for the clarity to return. It will not happen instantly. It will definitely not happen instantly. It's a process. But understand where they are right now. Just because I've told them once, don't expect them to understand it, remember it for the rest of their lives. There is a repetition required that I need to connect with children on daily basis. I need to study them. I need to observe them. I need to know how they act when they're confused and how they when they aren't. As a parent, I need to build that ability and give children that time to settle that model down, to accept that maybe they have done a mistake, to accept to go back to someone who guided them without any labeling, comparison, judgment, without pushing them to do it too quickly. Good luck.